Hi, I'm Chris from Allied Connect. Today we're going to demonstrate how to hoist a client or a resident off the bed into a wheelchair using a pivot frame full sling hoist. So today we've kind of got Alicia, our volunteer. Hi Alicia.
Hi.
And we've actually got a pivot frame full sling hoist. Now there's different manufacturers. We've actually got an Arjo Maxi Move today and we've got an Arjo sling. Wherever possible, we really want to make sure that we use the same sling and hoist manufacturer and branding to ensure that the clips and the connections will match up appropriately. So what we do first is we've got to get the sling positioned underneath Alicia. So that's generally a two-person task. So we will have a second person, so that's Joni today. Thanks, Joni.
Okay.
So we always organise the environment first, so we've got an uncluttered area and we make sure the bed's at an appropriate height. So we will have to get it up a little bit higher. Not all beds are very quick, but we make sure we have the patience to utilise mechanical lifting devices and our mechanics rather than our physical forces. Now an ideal working height is somewhere between upper thigh and waist. There is a little bit of a height difference between Joni and I, so we're going to go closer to Joni's waist, which will be a little bit closer to my upper thigh. You just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, probably.
Yep, brilliant. Okay, so we've made sure that we measure the sling, and we know we've checked the care plan and Alicia has a large size GP sling with head support, which is the type of sling that we've got today. We always make sure that we know the sizing guides of our slings and manufacturers, and Arjo actually measures by the colour of the ribbing on a sling. Each manufacturer has their own different sizing guide, so make sure you're familiar with your slings and hoists. So what we've got to do is to get Alicia to roll onto the side. So to do that, we get Alicia to give herself a cuddle. We get her to bend up one leg. Can you bend up that leg? Thanks, Alicia. Not all people in full sling hoist will have that sort of control for their lower limbs, so we may need to assist that from time to time. Alicia looks over towards Joni, and then I'm going to be applying the force as the pusher. Joni's going to be supporting and guiding. Okay, are you ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. You got it there, Joni?
Yeah.
So we lay the sling over our client and we made sure that the arch of the leg strap is at the top of the gluteal crease. Okay, that means that the sling's going to be supporting sufficiently and that it's positioned evenly. We tuck the other side in so it won't cause any skin tears or bruises when we actually position it through, and we roll back onto your back. Alicia, coming back for me, and we flatten it out. Now we bend up the other leg. Okay, and Alicia looks towards me. Now Joni's the pusher and I'm the support and guide. Good. Okay, I'll support Alicia and then Joni untucks the sling. Fantastic. And we have a bit of a look over the client and we make sure that the arch of the leg straps is at the top of the gluteal crease. So we go, that's the centre of the sling. Okay, and it's at the top of the gluteal crease. So that means it provides enough support, but it will still be easy to remove. So we roll back. Now we make sure that it's roughly even, and we've done a fantastic job because we've got the same amount of spare sling on each side, so we know it's centered. Next thing is to position the leg straps underneath the client's thighs. So we ask the client to bend up their thighs or their legs, but if they can't bend up their legs, we actually have to physically assist. So we might pretend you don't have control today, Alicia, and we facilitate a leg up. Now the other leg is closer to Joni, so that will be Joni's job to facilitate that leg up. Good. Now we assume our client has control to keep their legs there, and we tuck the leg strap in using the leg strap over our hand to prevent any skin tears or bruising, to press into the mattress, and then on a pivot frame, full sling hoist, we will go through the legs so the connectors are on the inside of the thigh. Okay, and Joni will do the other side. Good work. Fantastic. Now, if your resident or your client is cognitive and they want to participate and it's been assessed as safe to do so, I always try and involve our clients. So can you hold that for me, Alicia? Yeah. Obviously, if they're not safe or not consistent, then we wouldn't do it. Next thing is to bring in the full sling hoist. Now when we bring it in, we always make sure that our hoist matches our bed, and we try and make sure that the spreader bars are as wide as they can on the hoist to give us a bigger base of support as we raise the boom. Okay, just some standard parts of a hoist. This is what's called the boom. It goes up or down, and your spreader bars are down here they're actually what gives it the base of support and the ease of manoeuvrability. Okay, so once we've got the hoist position with the spreader bars as wide as to fit the bed mechanics, we actually bring in the hoist, making sure that we're clear of the resident and we've positioned it appropriately. And we always try and use our bed mechanics to do the job for us, and it's always ideal to connect the shoulders on prior to the legs. Okay, so we'll actually level out using the power tilt function. And then we lower the boom down to the resident, being sure not to crush any residents. It's always a bonus. So the connectors, we should never pull the connectors up. We should manoeuvre the equipment, the hoist, the bed, so it's already in position. So it's just a little click on. And you must hear, with the pivot frame hoist, you must hear the click. Okay, Joni will do the other side. And then we connect the leg straps. Can I have those straps? Thanks, Alicia. And Joni will do her side of the leg strap.
Thank you.
From this position, we can hoist Alicia off the bed. So the sling has got head support, so we would just go straight up from this position. Give yourself a cuddle, Alicia, and we're going up off the bed. Once we've got clearance, we know that we can move the hoist. You don't want to go excessive heights because it might hit any ceiling fans or it increases the tippability of the equipment. So you only really want to go as high as to your clear equipment and you can move it out from the bed. Okay, so from here, we're going to get Alicia off the bed and we're going to position her into the wheelchair. So we make sure there's clearance underneath, which there is, and out we come. Just watch your toes. Okay, Joni's there just in case, and she's going to help me steer as well, just in case we have to manoeuvre, but it's quite a big environment here, so it's perfectly fine. Now, once we're in position, Joni will grab the wheelchair, and I position the hoist ready for the wheelchair. So would you like to grab the wheelchair, Joni? And we position Alicia up into a sitting position because she's going into a sitting position. Now we never want to turn Alicia with her legs past the boom because it's a risk of skin tears or bruises. So we go nice and close to the boom but not past it. So she's sitting nice and upright with the assistance of the power tilt on the pivot frame hoist. The wheelchair is positioned correctly. Joni's put the brakes on. The brakes are off on the hoist, you'll notice. So if there is anything that happens, it will move over the centre of gravity. And we go down. There might be some little adjustments in wheelchair position, that is Joni's role. So we just make sure Joni does, we might move over a little bit there. Good. And wheelchair in a little bit closer. Good. Because we want Alicia's bottom all the way to the back of the wheelchair. Good, there's touchdown, and we make sure we just don't crush the wheelchair. So we have to tilt. And then down, and just a little bit more tilt, and a little bit more down, and then that means that all the pressure's off the connectors, so they're easily removed. One person always makes sure they hold the boom, so it doesn't accidentally go around to hit your client. Also, the person at the back is making sure that the boom doesn't hit the client or the resident's head. So we're going up to get rid of the hoist. So we've got a bit more working area. So that's enough working area. Okay, and we move the hoist down the road and Joni might take off the brakes of the wheelchair and we'll move Alicia back a little bit as well. Watch your feet there, Alicia. Okay, brilliant. So from here, we've now got to remove the sling from underneath Alicia. So the brakes are on the wheelchair. We take the leg straps off first. So to do that, we get a bit of access room by flipping back the armrest, making sure that we don't knock our client. Okay, now as I lift this leg up, I'm going to lift from the sole of the foot and a hand controlling the knee position, and I'm going to make sure there's enough clearance underneath for Joni to take the leg strap out. When Joni takes the leg strap out, she's actually going to pull the leg strap underneath itself, so the friction is between the sling and the wheelchair rather than between the sling and the resident's leg. Okay, so Joni's coming around nice and close to the load. I lift the leg up and over, and Joni's taking it out underneath, which is fantastic. Okay, now we'll do the other side. Now just so the resident doesn't fall out of the chair, we'll put that back down for safety. Okay, and Joni will come around the other side. And we do the same thing on the other side, where the armrest of the wheelchair goes back. Joni's got a lot more working room. We lift up and over. Good. We just tuck that in behind. And then we could get the armrest down for safety. Okay, now Joni will stand up and come back around. And we get Alicia to lean forward actively if she can. If she can't, we both assist her forward. So can you come forward for me a little, Alicia? Good, and that clears the access for Joni to then remove the sling at the back of Alicia. And back, and Alicia's been safely hoisted from the bed into a wheelchair. Please note that the demonstrations presented today are based on the majority of a residential or community client population to fit the majority of clinical presentations. If any of the demonstrations shown today do not fit your client presentations, please refer on to your local physiotherapist, occupational therapist, case manager, or alternative health professional. Thank you very much for watching, and all the best with people handling.